Hey, it's Mike Watson. I just wanted to talk about interest rates for a little bit because I get a lot of people saying that, they think that they're going to wait to buy a home until interest rates fall so that the home is more affordable to them. And while I do think that that's a noble idea and it's a wise decision to make, I think we also need to look at if that's even really feasible. So on this graph, behind me on the TV here, you can see there's two lines, and it's a 60-year historical average on the interest rates is the yellow line, and then there's a 30-year average on the teal line. The 60-year average interest rate is a 7.81, and the 30-year is 5.97. Let's just call that 6%. And so far for 2023, we've had an average interest rate of 6.6%. What I want to take a look at and see if it's even really feasible to wait and see if interest rates come down for homes to be more affordable is let's go back and look. So let's look at the 60-year average, that yellow line at 7.8%. Look at how many years were above that line. And that goes all the way back to 72. So there's about 20 years that were over the average interest rate line. And you can see in the late 80s, the average went up to 16.5%. Okay. So if you were somebody in 1973, when interest rates had just gone over the average interest rate, and you said, you know what, I think I'm going to wait to buy a home until interest rates come back down, they would have waited 20 years. They would have waited till it looks like 1993 before they decided to buy a home. And I don't think that waiting 20 years and paying rent for those 20 years is a good financial decision. It's just really hard for me to tell somebody that, yes, I think you should wait until rates come down, especially when we look at averages like this. And then even if you go on the blue line, the first half of the years for the 30-year average were all over the average line. And then sure, the second half of them were below the line, and that's how averages work, right? But the second half of those years were historically low interest rates that we've had never seen before, obviously, and we're probably not going to see again. So waiting for interest rates to come back down as your reason to buy, I don't think is your best decision. And even if we forecast a little bit here and pull out the crystal ball and guess what's going to happen, I don't expect interest rates to come down much, if at all. I know that a lot of economists were saying that rates could come down, and mostly because it's an election year and they want the economy to look good for whoever's going into office. But shortly after that, I'm sure they'll go back up. And another time when the Fed has historically lowered interest rates is when the economy was in a bad place and they were trying to stimulate the economy and keep the floor from falling out. They would lower interest rates and use that as a way to save the economy. However, right now, over the last couple years, all we've heard them talk about is curbing inflation and combating inflation. And in order to do that, they've been raising the interest rates, and it has kind of been effective. I mean, it's still not where they want it to be. And this has been, over a year-long run on them, going interest rates from 3% to 7.5%. So again, and if we're in the first year of being over the average line, I don't think that we're going to see it come down much. And if it does come down, it won't be for long. So I wouldn't use that as a reason to not buy a home, especially if you're renting right now and you are able to afford a home. If you can't afford a home because of where prices and interest rates are, that's a different conversation. But if you're able to afford a home and you're choosing not to, and you're choosing to pay rent, and you're using interest rates coming down as your reason for not buying a home, I really think you should reconsider that. And even just, looking at the data on the TV here next to me, hopefully that helps. And, numbers don't lie. And, so yes, I'm giving my opinion, but it's based on factual data that you can look at. If you have any questions, if you want to talk about it, if you want to brainstorm or come up with a financial plan on what it looks like for you to make a move, please feel free to reach out to me. You can call, text, or email me, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.